Hello, once again. Welcome back to the Disky channel. Welcome to the podcast. Everything that is nice about your local football, everything that's been happening this week. Just going to be talking about everything nice. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. For those of you who actually watched my previous video, really appreciate it. Please keep on supporting the channel. And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to everything to the channel so you can keep on getting this amazing content. So today, what we want to be covering, we're going to be covering a lot of things that happened in the previous week in regards to the games that have happened, come and gone. So the derbies are done, but we have to forget. Look, it happened. Congratulations to Paris. They went to the finals of Finet Bank, to Kaiser Chiefs. Until next year, chance. There's nothing we can do. So done. There's nothing we can talk about at this point. Kumanje pelile, kuphelile. There's nothing we can really say. But the only thing is just to reflect back. So for me, I just want to pick up where we left off in regards to the match itself. What we're gonna looking at a couple of things. What we could have actually known, just to enlighten everyone, just to have a conversation around that, in a sense where just to get people to understand what should we look out for, or what could have happened. What happened? What went wrong in that match? Because what we saw is Kaizer Chiefs played well. Kaizer Chiefs played well, but what happened? Because those are the things I was saying last week. When you look at the two squads, Pirates does have a bit of an edge over Kaizer Chiefs. But funny enough, Kaizer Chiefs play better. You saw that on paper, Pirates had weight, but on the day they played better. Could it have been the fact of Pirates, they come from 5 games losing against Kaizer Chiefs? Could it also be that Pirates lost to the right games? Maybe technically they were spot on. Because when you look at the fact that, that's what I was saying in the previous episode, when you look at Kaizer Chiefs, you only wonder, could it have, if it was a different day, if the players have played more games together? I believe so. Because we're expecting too much, I feel, for such a young squad, a new coach, and all these things. Yes, some of the games when you see that it's margins where it's finishing, margins it's that pass, margins it's the chemistry hasn't really come together. It's because football, at the end of the day, requires a lot of time and effort. At times, to get those things right, repetition. But the tactics as well is to be right, because when you look at also the bench, there's not much we can also say that, hey, there is a player that we have that can change things. The 2 players that we have right now that we've seen glimpses, Uzwane no Umtutsi Shabalala, they're young. And I don't think we can rely on young players. Let's be fair. Anyeke expect ukuthi intwana encane come into a squad where to them just playing for the jersey alone is the biggest achievement. Then we're expecting those kids to take us all the way to the final. Whereas when you look at the kind of players that Pirates have brought in, Abu Mikel team, well decorated, CV well decorated, experience. Ndlondle has won the Nedbank Cup final. Let's look at the facts. Let's be fair. You have you understand, even Usaling, he has experience. He has experience in the league alone. And now, even if he was one of their key stars or one of the key players that we had to look out for, but there is experience enough for him, whether we think he's a big match player or not. But those are the things that you consider when going into a match of this caliber. The biggest fixture in the DSTV Premiership calendar in the country stops, and we're expecting this case to take us to the final. Look, for me, I respect Uzwane for being able to trust or put his faith in young players, but let's be fair. when you do that, you have to have a mix of experience and you have to have a mix of young players shaped in the right way for them to be able to understand the expectations and also to be able to not have that pressure of being able. They have to have players that they look up to who have the same qualities. When you look at Kaizer Chiefs, Keegan Dole, of form. When you look at Stevie, average. When you look at Marat, average. When you look at who else? Caleb Saile, new players. Though he's experienced, but they knew. To this league, they haven't won much. All these other things that we have to take into consideration that they really come into also a big team where they have big shoes to fill. There's so much for them to play for. This is why when you look at the chances that we create, it only tells you that these young players, it only tells you that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So hence why I'm saying that let's take our emotions away for 2 seconds. Let's take away for the fact that we love this club, we love Kaizer Chiefs, we want them to end the trophy drought and all these things. But we need to put down a foundation. There needs to be a foundation of some sort to a certain extent for those things, for us to be able to see football play out the way we want it to. I think some of us are too impatient enough, or yeah, are too impatient for us not to allow this process to take place for us to be able to see our team getting the right results. Because already this season, a lot of things have changed, in a sense, in my opinion. The kind of way, in terms of the philosophy, to some extent, where possession stats, in a sense, where now we've seen us being able to keep the ball a bit better, in a sense of being able to attack a bit more, where previous coaches were either using crosses, were playing transition, were defensive most of the time, we allowed the opposition to come to us and we react instead of being proactive, taking the initiative forward. So Zwane is an attacking coach. Now, the frailties are when you have a team like that, you have to have quality that's able to keep the ball, is comfortable on the ball, and also being able to make sure that they are very tight at the back. We've had goalkeeping problems. Our goalkeepers have made mistakes. We've had defensive mistakes. But if we were to look at the game itself, those were limited. Apart from the second goal, it's debatable of how Peterson considered that goal. But those are the kind of things that when you look at the season that we've had and you look at that one game that we were counting on to put smiles on our faces. But even if we had won that game, we would still not be happy with how the season has gone so far. So me, I'd leave it there. I'd leave for you guys to decide. But let's be fair, even if we went to the final, we still wouldn't have been happy with how we've been playing, how things have been done, and the kind of decision we've taken. We only can hope next season. Let's focus on next season. For me, let's focus on next season. We've given the space enough time to play with each other. We've given the coach enough time. He has said it himself. He has made a lot of mistakes. So those are the kind of things we're trying to, I'm hoping that they are trying to fix. But furthermore, we have to say congratulations to Pirates. They are number 2, number 1 on the log. They've gone to 2 finals. They've qualified for 2 finals now in terms of domestic competitions. And when you look at the kind of the coach that came in, very unknown, we didn't know what to expect. And also when you look at the fact that they themselves had a couple of players, Tapula Koki, CBC was kind of new, and a lot of changes. They released Happy Charlie, an experienced player. Let's be honest, Njonjo and team came in. They have Abu striking department. There was a lot of shifts. Bafaku Babu used to came in. So even though they did invest in a lot of experience, heads to them. Let's also give it to them because I don't think there's a lot of good that is talked about how Pirates have actually conducted themselves. If you have seen, they've been solid at the back. The games that have lost or they've drawn, it's when they fail to score enough goals or even a goal or two. But when you've watched them, they're very solid, especially in the middle, how they've controlled most of the time. The only thing that we have an opinion or we can debate about is how they've relied on going in the wings instead of coming inside. I think that's where when you play such games like Sundowns, you lose them, or they lose them because of the fact that they rely on overlapping runs from their wing backs, which Ution Hoto, either Ushando or Umonyane has been coming in. But they've relied too much on crosses, Gakulu, or wing play instead of coming inside because they are comfortable players and they have quality players. But you saw in the MTN how they played. That showed you enough that there's something that they're working on. And now they're reaping the rewards. So heads to them. Congratulations to Pirates. I think that's one of the key things as Funuku's Bona next season. It only makes this league very competitive when we see that. And I said it the last time. Okay, Kevin Hunt, they did say Guti, the only club, I think I said in my first, the only club second to none to Sundowns is the Lonely Pirates. I didn't trust him at that. I didn't really trust him. But now, now it's cool. So, heads to them. They've qualified for the Nepe Cup final. They're going to be playing against Isikukune, which actually they won in penalties against Stellenbosch. So that's a match to look out for, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it in regards to sorted down. See share party. The only thing that we have to talk about is what could have happened, but it's fine. So for me, that's the kind of things Ebing is big this season or this weekend. Sorry. And also another game that was of key interest seeing Ebing Begile was in Mamelodi Sundowns. They won 2-0. Look, sometimes when you watch Sundowns games, even if you are betting, you already know who's going to win. But this game was very interesting because of the fact that Sundowns was playing against Gallants, which both these teams have qualified for CAF competitions. It was interesting because Gallants haven't lost a game in the last 7 games. As tight as the schedule was, they haven't lost a game in those games. So coming into that match was very interesting how they're going to set up. And to be fair, Gallants have been playing well. Carpet football, interplays, very, very solid in front, not at the back. But they won 2-0 there, it was expected. But even the goal they scored, one goal was scored from a set piece. The first goal was scored in the second minute of the game. But there was a key interest. Congratulations, Mr. Sundowns. Once again, they've won the league. They've been getting a Makaro of honor. So there's not much to talk about there. But what we can learn here is next season is going to be a very interesting season. For me, if they didn't win those 12 games successfully, it would have been a close encounter. It would have been a close league. So we can only look at the top 4. SuperSport, Pirates, Chiefs, and Sundowns. If they can keep those coaches, now no one gets fired. We start the season next season as they are now. Obviously, there is speculations here and there who's going to come in, who's leaving the clubs. But if he stays like this, trust me, it's going to be a very interesting season next season. Because Manje says finally, there's only 2 games left, guys. There's only 2 games. The only thing we can talk about is who are we looking at for in regards to the players of the season. Now we're looking at that. So for me, I'll give you my list. You'll tell me and you'll leave a comment. Tell me who's your pick? Who do you feel is the player of the season? For me, I feel the player of the season, we should give it to the players who have won things, in a sense. Or obviously, in Intesibega Kulu, what impact did they have on their clubs? Where are their clubs now? And also in what position they are in. For me, Tebogo Mokoena, 1. Let me go for Ronin Williams. Let me put myself Ronin Williams, let me go. But I don't think it's very hard for a goalkeeper this season because he's broken a lot of, I think Poki recorded 1 and he's been solid, but I don't think he's been tested. I think we can't say he's been tested, but that's one thing we can say. Then Mona Pule Saling. Yeah, definitely. For me, he's been hot. In all the competitions, he's contributed a lot. Whether it's an assist, whether it's a goal or 2, league, cup, and all these things. I think for me, he's been an outstanding player for Pirates. So that's my top three. You can leave your comments and whatever you have to, whatever opinion that you have. See, how do you feel about the player of the season? And that's going to be interesting because that's the only thing I see Peggy Lemai with the last two games. I didn't score. Let's just forget about it because manje Moipega, there's I think Peter uzoyithatha. Yeah, well, Peter uzoyithatha by the looks of things, even though um we can be able to see with okay sharp the 2 games something might happen. But Kusele equality one, I think he has 10, the other ones have 9. So we'll see. We'll see. Another thing I wanted to just wrap up before we close off the show is potential new signing out of the top 3. So what we do know is, at the moment, let's start with Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs, we know Guti, Brady, even though they haven't confirmed. The confirmed signings because we've watched Ilona. Certain reports have actually confirmed, according to a latest interview, given Masango from Ilo. TX Galaxy, the defender. Then we've got the Tlokwe, which Chiefs did actually confirm that they've signed him on a pre-contract where he's coming. Tutuzi Mtatsane from Cape Town City. We've heard Brady ukuthi I think they just say ukuthi personal terms with his agents is thing to be finalized. So that hasn't been confirmed. But those are the 3 signings I know of that Chiefs has been they've actually made inquiries about. So those are the new faces. We don't know about ETM because I don't think he's going to come because a lot of things are there. But we will see. Because I really feel Chiefs needs a DM, a defensive midfielder, and who else? Who else? I think that's it. Yeah, it's those 3. So it's Mtansane, it's Masango, given Masango from TX Galaxy, and Udi Tlokwe. Yeah, that's much it. But they need a lot. I think they need a striker as well. I have Caleb, no Saile. Nah, they need a striker. Then Pirates is really, I think it's confirmed according to I think it's Austin Dihlobolo. Melusi Butelezi from TS Galaxy, the goalkeeper. That's a good signing for me. Bing! That's a good signing for me. And there was a new, I think, striker. They've only signed the Cameroonian. He hasn't been given a chance. We don't know if maybe Ivanga and these other strikers are leaving. So that's the only player I know so far. Oh, yes. Otladisa. And what if they get that player? Fire. Fire. Because now when you look at the wing, Otladisa is a good player. Gallants did say that they were only keeping him because they wanted players to help them go careful, and which he had. I don't know if maybe there's a few rumors about him, but we haven't heard anything so far from the Pirates. Otladisa naye ngivile nje amahemhemu rumors here and there about him, Melusi Butelezi as well. So those are the 2 signings I know of in regards to the kind of players about Dingayo. We don't know about much because Baba Sani na Makahula, because I think they have enough cover. Good DM. But with defensive midfield, you see what I mean with next season? You're sure next season. It's Sundowns. Hey, Villa, what the Mendieta. I've heard that Mendieta as well has been the rumors. That's the only potential rumor I've heard, that allegedly, supposedly, they've made inquiries. No Mayo. But yes, Umayo kenzeka ukuthi naye uya ku Chiefs. We don't know much, but naye kenzeka ukuthi uya ku Chiefs. But I don't know. But I think he has to also. There's a extension clause, an option for Cape Town City for them to extend his contract. Then they can, we can buy him, or KC can buy him. I don't know too much about that. So that's pretty much all. Oh yes, Saavedra. Is it Saavedra? Edwin Saavedra. I think he's on his way out to Sundowns. That's the only potential changes I know of, apart from them challenging for ECAF. So that's the kind of shape, or the kind of moves that these teams are making at the moment. These are the potential moves that you could see happening before the season starts. And I can't wait for a Chief, for a Cup. Can't wait to see how it is. But that's our season so far, guys. For me, that's how the weekend has been shaping up. That's most of the things that have happened because, mind you, as you can see, all teams are trying to wrap up the season. And yeah, so let's see what's going to happen this coming week. Let's see what's happening in the streets, man. Like I said, leave your comments in leave anything in your comment section. Tell me what you think, your thoughts about the things that we've discussed so far. And yeah, let's check you on the next episode. Remember, you're going to be getting weekly updates about anything, everything in terms of Diski, everything it's about local football content. Thank you so much for supporting me so far. I really appreciate the love and everything so far. Peace.